Here's to whiskey kisses, the peaty taste of sin.
Greetings, whiskey folk, and welcome to the official Dram Association unbottling of the Glenglassaugh 12-year-old, a whiskey that I've been waiting patiently for, and I'm very excited to be trying for the first time here today. So, why am I excited? Why I've been waiting patiently? Well, I love Glenglassaugh. I really do. I think it's one of the most interesting distilleries. I think it's one of the most delicious distilleries in Scotland. It's probably, I would say, in my top 3 distilleries. And it's one of the reasons it's interesting is actually the same reason I find one of the other top 3 distilleries interesting. It was actually closed down for quite a while and reopened. A trend which seems to be happening more and more, actually. As I'm sure if you're a whiskey fan or a Scotch whiskey fan, you're probably familiar with places like Brora and Port Ellen and Rosebank reopening after long periods. But it's not a new thing. It's happened all throughout Scotch whisky history. In fact, it's happened to these guys twice. They first opened in 1874, closed in 1907, reopened in 1960s. I think it was actually 1960 itself, and then closed 26 years later in 1986. And in fact, you can still find some of the distillate from that 26-year period of opening around. You can still find Glenglassaugh 45s and kind of really interesting old Glenglassaughs kicking around sometimes. And for a long time, up until now, they were the only official bottling age statements Glenglassaughs you'd find. Because they didn't reopen again until 2008, when a Russian investment firm bought them out and started making whiskey again. They released some new make spirit, which I guess has an official age statement of 0, but it wasn't a whiskey, so that doesn't count. And then, of course, they brought out the Revival, a perfectly well-named whiskey for it. It wasn't my favourite, got to be honest. And then Billy Walker took over. 2013, Billy Walker took the reins, added it to his stable of distilleries, including Benriach and Glendronach. It was kind of the holy trinity of Scotch whiskies in that period. And he released the Evolution and the Torfa as the other 2 core range whiskies. And I have to admit, I didn't like either of those either. So why do I love Glenglassaugh? It's not because of the old stuff, either. Frankly, I've had a couple of the 40-somethings, and they've been good, they've been interesting, but I can kind of see why they weren't necessarily kept open. They weren't the best 40-year-old whiskies I've ever had. Maybe they weren't that style. And from what I understand, the new distillate is not trying to imitate that old whiskey either. But what I fell in love with was some of the independent bottlings from all over that I absolutely loved. I'm still sad that I've never seen an S&WS Glenglassaugh, to be honest. But I've had independent bottlings from other companies. In fact, I've got a Secret Spirits one, which is absolutely phenomenal. And club bottlings, like they had a buy your own cask program. So a lot of whiskey clubs bought whole casks of Glenglassaugh. In fact, I can't remember if it was the Quake or the VSMC, one of the independent local clubs here in Victoria bought a cask, and I've been lucky enough to get a bottle or 2 of that. Phenomenal whiskey. And we only know it's Glenglassaugh because on the back, on the tiny, tiny little label by the barcode, it says distilled at Glenglassaugh. It doesn't say anywhere else. And it's like 5-year-old, 4-year-old maybe. It's really bloody good whiskey, though. But also, the official bottlings had a whole range of interesting one-offs. They had the Octave range, which was all phenomenal. They had a range of special sherry cask finishes, and that Oloroso cask, and that Pedro Jimenez cask, the peated port pipe, all absolutely outstanding whiskies that made me fall in love with Glenglassaugh. So, having a 12-year-old from this new style of spirit is incredibly exciting to me, and especially because this has become really quite head-turning in the UK. A lot of people really like this whiskey and the 2 other whiskies that were released along it, the Sandon and the Portsoy, which I believe will be coming in a few weeks or months to BC as well. Keep your eye out for those. For some reason, the 12 came early. Not sure why. But it's an age statement. And it's an age statement that was, blended and put together by the legendary Rachel Barry, who since 2016, when Brown Forman bought out all 3 distilleries, Glenglassaugh has been under the care of. So I have every faith that this whiskey is going to be great. And I can't wait to find out how great it is. And you can find out how great it is too a quick promo before I unbottle, because the reason I'm unbottling this is because it will be featured at our new series of tastings, the brand new Whiskey Arrival Showcase. The first tasting is going to be on March 21st up in the Maple Room at 7 p.m. That's a Thursday evening. $40 to come, $30 if you're a Strath Premium member. And I'll tell you now, the more people that come, the bigger the budget for the whiskies are. So if you want good whiskey, bring a couple of friends and you'll all get better whiskey. It's a great way of doing it. So yeah, help me promote it. Tell all your friends, come along. We're going to start doing these every month. Well, not every month. We're probably not going to do one in December or January because that tend to be pretty busy with Christmas and the Whiskey Festival. But most months we will have a brand new Whiskey Arrival Showcase tasting for the Dram Association. And it'll be a mix of things like this, which are already on the shelf. You can actually buy this right now at the Strath. That have recently arrived, and some stuff that we're saving in the back for a special release. If it's a limited edition where there's only 1 or 2 cases available, for example, we will release it at those tastings and you will get first dibs of the brand new releases. This is available. It's $112.99. And because it's now a featured whiskey, because we're featuring it in an upcoming tasting, and it's on this video, that means all Dram Association members, almost 1,300 of you, can get 10% off on our website. It is 101.69, so strathliquor.com. Take a look for Glenglassaugh on there. And yeah, take advantage of your discount. And if you're not a member, it's easy to sign up. Right there on the website, just go to the Dram Association page. And one of the exciting things is brand new labels, brand new bottles, brand new branding, brand new logo. There's only one thing I dislike about this whole new package, which is absolutely stunning, and that's that they got rid of the Latin motto. It used to say per mare per terras on all Glenglassaugh bottles from Land and Sea. It was, I believe, the only Scotch whisky with a Latin motto. They don't seem to have that anymore, but it does say the first line of the flavour text, shaped by land and sea. So at least it still references it. Glenglassaugh is born on the coast, nourished by the North Sea air with rolling waves of flavour. 12 years old, 700ml bottle, 45% ABV. Yeah, they didn't water this one down too much. It's not a 42, 43. It's not quite 46, but 45 I will take. I'm very happy with 45. It makes for a fuller flavour. I love the new typographic-based logo, although the old logo had 2 stills where the negative space made a bird. That was cool. We'll miss that, but hey, out with the old, in with the new. Love the teal colour on the inside of the box. Don't know why it went out of focus there. Love the teal colour on the inside of the box. I think I leaned too far away. Has it got autofocus on the back? No idea. Maybe a piece of dust went and grabbed the camera. But look at that. Isn't that beautiful? They've got like wave styles going through the glass. It's nicely rippled, nice sort of gold foil embossed logo thing. Beautiful coloured stopper, custom made. Oh, it's the presentation is outstanding on this bottle, I have to say. Yeah, let's get a closer look for you. Look at that thing. Oh, all right. A taste of Glenglassaugh is a pull to the lush shores of Sandon Bay, wherein curving copper stills and dark casks of oak, a coastal single malt is born. Softly rolling surf sweeps across scattering of ancient harbour towns here, while dolphins play, gannets dive, and spirits are renewed by the joy of life at a gentler pace. Glenglassaugh is distilled with mineral-rich spring water and nourished by the sea air that drifts through our warehouses. Maturing for 12 years in a combination of bourbon, sherry, and red wine casks, it develops a harmonious balance of coastal richness shaped by an abundance of land and sea. And then they've got the official tasting notes, which I'll head back to after I've made my own observations. All right, time for the unbottling. That's nice and easy to get into. Always appreciate that. Lovely cork pop. Going right into the 2020 Victoria Whiskey Festival Glencairn. Good mix of different colours here. From the sherry cask, the red wine cask. It's a nice mix of oranges and yellows going into the hue of this whiskey. It's a really nice, deep sort of golden colour. It has that note which I love from Glenglassaugh, which I always... It's not quite a perfect description, but I always think of as like salted caramel, or like a sticky toffee pudding or something. There's a lot to love about that nose, I'll tell you. Yeah, fresh red currants and clotted cream, freshly steamed sponge pudding. Oh, there's a nice herbal sort of minerally thing going on, almost sort of not medicinal in an iodine sense, but medicinal in a Ricola sort of like herbal remedy sense. Just what the naturopath ordered. Oh, and that first sip. It's got that little touch of sweetness that I always love in a Glenglassaugh that mellows out to a sort of more bready, yeasty kind of a flavour profile. It's really interesting having a spirit that I'm kind of quite familiar with the style at an older age, because it's mellowed it. It's not as bold. And I love Glenglassaugh at a young age. And I quite like it at 12. I think I need to get to know it more to really understand it better. But I see it's like going to a high school reunion, right? I've not actually been to one, but I imagine it's a bit like this. And meeting someone again for the first time as an adult that you were quite close with as a child. You see the glimpses of that playful, for 14-year-old you used to play hockey with or something, but now they're in a business suit and they seem well put together, and they've traded in their scruffy goatee for a clean shaven corporate look, and it's kind of a bit like that. This feels clean, well formed. It feels meticulously put together. A little less rough around the edges than what I'm used to from Glenglassaugh, and I like that. I'm hoping that the non-age statement ones, the Port Soy and the Sandend, are going to be a little bit more like the Glenglassaughs I grew up with over the last few years. But if not, I won't be too sad to see the other ones go, because this is a fantastic evolution. Despite not being the Glenglassaugh evolution, this is the actual evolution, I feel, of Glenglassaugh, and this is probably where they're planning to go. So the official tasting notes: a luminous gold colour, a nose of sweet coastal waves of ripe apricot and fig, melded with toasted vanilla and tropical flora, carried on a warm ocean breeze. Yeah, I wasn't really focused on trying to find those fruit flavours, but yeah, if I was looking for fruit, apricots, figs, plums, maybe that kind of thing. Taste of candied pistachio, nice. Date and fig sweet roll into waves of morello cherry whipped cream, infused with fresh coastal air. Very nice. Yeah, a very well put together, well designed whiskey that hopefully will have a place on the shelves here at the Strath for a long time to come. I know Brett's looking forward to trying this one. I'll probably take him a sample downstairs right now. And yeah, hopefully you guys will come and try it with me. Again, at the brand new whiskey showcase. This is March 21st, 7 p.m. Tickets are available right now at strathliquor.com. Please come along. There's going to be 6 to 8 brand new whiskies for that $40 entry, plus a special entry dram as well. And this will be one of them. So we'll see you there. And thanks for tuning in. Why not like and subscribe? Hey, it can't hurt. And we'll see you at the next video. Sláinte.